former President Jacob Zuma could face arrest for snubbing the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, but he's launched a scathing attack on South Africa's judiciary, accusing unnamed members of corruption and protecting President Cyril Ramaphosa. In a 12-page statement issued last night, the former president accuses judges of hiding the source of Ramaphosa's controversial CR17 funding that bankrolled the ANC's 2017 election win. Well, let's unpack this further now, and I'm joined by political analyst Prince Mashele, who talks to us all the way from Mpumalanga this morning. Mr. Mashele, thank you very much for your time. Were you surprised by the statement that has been issued by the former president last night? It looks like he is getting into the habit of dishing these out, and he's holding nothing back.
Thanks, Toli, and good morning to viewers at home. Look, I was not surprised. The game that Jacob Zuma is playing now is essentially a latest episode in a saga that we've been observing for many years. Number one, Jacob Zuma is a conspiracy theorist of note. He flourishes in creating conspiracy theories. When he has to answer legal questions, he avoids them by resorting to conspiracy theories, essentially by walking out of the legal space into the space of conspiracies. The statement that he issued, I read all of it. It's very clear. He is making all manner of accusations against the judiciary, but the accusations are not specific. He refers to some in the judiciary, few members in the judiciary, but we actually don't know what he's talking about. But the point here is this: he realizes that he has reached the end of the road. So he's trying to create a political crisis so that he muddies waters in order to save his own skin.
I wonder then, exactly on those words that you say, he is trying to create a political crisis. The ANC's head of the presidency, Sibongile Besane, tweeting overnight that the ANC should not, or should, at all material times, avoid being at the forefront of constitutional delinquency. This is a man who sits in the president's office at Luthuli House. How should we interpret what he's saying here?
It tells you that the ANC is divided because on the one hand, you have Jacob Zuma supported by elements in the ANC such as the MK military veterans. And we have seen mobs ganging up around Jacob Zuma's homestead in Kandla, wearing ANC t-shirts and purporting to speak on behalf of the ANC. So the spokesperson of the ANC's presidency obviously speaks for the current president of the ANC, that is Cyril Ramaphosa. What we are seeing is a divided ANC. So there is an element, which is the Zuma element, that wants to divide the ANC even further so that Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't have control over the ANC because if it is divided, he can't direct it. And you can see even in the statement that Zuma is attacking Cyril Ramaphosa directly by referring to what he calls bribes that were paid to the CR17 campaign in order to steal the ANC presidency. So the summary of the story is this: we are dealing with a divided ANC. And this divided ANC is a big liability to the constitutional state called South Africa, because the crisis that is happening in terms of the constitution has serious implications for the integrity of our judiciary and our constitutional democracy. So the question is, what can we do as South Africans to insulate ourselves from the shenanigans that are happening in the ANC so that they don't tear apart our constitution? That is actually the more important question for South Africans.
And that's the question I want us to deal with in a moment. But you've mentioned very importantly that what the former president is seeking to do now is not just attack the judiciary, but you can see that the line of attack is also aimed at creating a political crisis within the ANC as well. Should President Cyril Ramaphosa respond? And if he does, how does he go about it?
The President of the Republic, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, has been sworn in to defend and uphold the South African Constitution. He is the first man to do so in the line of defense. When the Constitution is under serious attack, especially from the highest level, remember, we are dealing with someone who was the president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma. So when a character like that of high standing attacks the Constitution, you expect that the first citizen of our country will speak and give direction to the nation. So my view is that this is the time when Cyril Ramaphosa must step out of the closet and address the nation and tell us how he's going to protect and uphold our Constitution.
But if and when he does step out, does he not play directly into the hands of former President Jacob Zuma, whom you have said is seeking to create not just a political crisis, but a constitutional crisis within the country? And what is it that we South Africans should be doing about it? My question to you is, if President Ramaphosa does respond, is it not fueling this very constitutional crisis that you say former President Jacob Zuma is seeking to do?
No, look, what Jacob Zuma has done and continues to do is to try and create doubt about the integrity of our judiciary and the integrity of our constitutional democracy. Now, what we need as citizens is to be reassured by our president who sits in the union buildings that we must not doubt the integrity of our democratic system. He does not necessarily need to get into details regarding the case involving Jacob Zuma. The case involving Jacob Zuma will be dealt with by the courts, but he needs to reassure the nation that the institutions of state are fully functioning and no one is going to dodge them, including people who used to be presidents of this country. So he can make a reassuring statement without getting into the details of the case. That at least would give us confidence as citizens that our democratic institutions are intact and we have a president who is prepared to come out when they are under attack.
Yeah. A question for media practitioners, Prince Mashele, like myself. How much attention do we give this matter, and the amount of attention that is given to it? I'm wondering what it does to the psyche of the nation, or is something like this best tracked through what law enforcement is going to do from here on? Are there dangers that the amount of attention given to this matter might induce that very instability that we're all trying to avoid?
Well, there are two aspects to your question. Number one, the media is the mirror of the nation. The media shows us what is happening in society. That's number one. And related to that, there is absolutely no way the media can avoid showing us the conduct of our former head of state, particularly if such conduct seeks to undermine the integrity of our democratic system. So the media is correct to show us all the drama. You are correct, secondly, that there is a possibility that the media could be used as a platform by forces that seek to destabilize society, to mobilize others who are sitting at home and say, come to Nkandla, here we are, see us. We are protecting, inverted commas, what they call Ubaba. So that could actually fuel the crisis. But I just don't see why the media should not show us what is happening. There is absolutely nothing wrong. If you don't show us, it does not mean that Jacob Zuma will stop doing what he is doing. So my view is that the media is correct to show us all the drama. If it means that there are elements who are going to use the media as a platform, you can't blame the media for doing its job.
Prince Mashele, thank you very much. As always, good talking to you, talking to us from Mpumalanga.